I'm voting for a convicted felon.
I've never been this thirsty in my entire, actually maybe my teenage years. Hi, my name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page. This really could have been street politics. I think could have been racist of the week. You know, this actually could have been Karen's Gone Wild. I think I'm gonna post this in Karen's Gone Wild as well as Troubled Waters, but this could really go in all of my streams. Now, this is political commentator and podcast host David Harris, apparently on a flight either in or headed to Seattle, who decided that he wanted to make a video for social media.
How are you? Good. What do you think? Like that? I'm voting for a convicted felon. Yeah, let's hope. Exactly, that's right. Gotta save this country.
One way or another.
Yeah, yeah. 100%. All day.
Now, first of all, tell me you in first class and you're not normally in first class. I mean, you just had to mention that he was in first class. That's how you always know that it's new to them when they mention first class. It's almost like when you see the hotel and they mention that they have hot water. You know, when they mention that they have hot water, when they mention that they have cable TV, you know it's not normal. Like you know it's not regular. Like you know exactly what it is when you go into a hotel by virtue of how basic the things are that they put on the sign outside. You had to make sure that we all knew that you was in first class. Well done. Also important that you were in first class because you had to make sure that everybody had to walk past your t-shirt. So I can only imagine you getting that notification, ooh, I got upgraded. Ooh, I got upgraded. I'm going with a t-shirt. I'm going with a t-shirt. Think about how thirsty you have to be to do this. I mean, really, like, first of all, you have to acquire this t-shirt. That's the first thing. Then you have to wear it to the airport. You know, when you're choosing what you want to wear to the airport, typically, normally I dress down when I'm going to the airport. That's when I wear my worst clothes. Like, seriously, I'm shocked that I've never been kicked off of a flight where they were like, we can't have, you just don't represent Delta. Like, we can't have you walking around like this. I wear my worst clothes to the airport. Some people like to announce themselves. So you chose that this was the t-shirt that you wanted to wear to the airport just to make sure that the most strangers see you. Then you sit in first class with this t-shirt just to make sure that everybody's gonna have to pass you with this particular t-shirt. Then you sit there and you stare down everybody who walks by just to make sure if they were going to ignore you, like you ignore 98% of the people that you pass as you get to your seat on a flight, just to make sure if they were going to ignore you, that they had to pay some attention because who is this brother staring daggers at the side of my ear? Then you have to turn the camera on yourself. Think about the thirst. You turn a camera on at yourself and you're talking to yourself in this moment. You went and got this shirt, you wore it to the airport, you sat in first class, you're staring everybody down who passes while you have a camera on yourself. I've never been this thirsty in my entire, actually maybe my teenage years. Yeah, maybe my teenage years I was this thirsty. Not since 14 though. Now, I don't know if you realize this, but back behind you, we can see the amount of people that are walking by you and not saying a word. I don't know if you meant to crop that out or if you were unaware just how powerful your camera is. We can actually see all of the people ignoring you while you're sitting there in first class trying to make a scene. That's why you keep cooing at the camera and winking and doing. You're not slick. I can see the people passing you like, who the hell is this weirdo trying to make a TikTok in row 3?
How are you? Good. You think? Like that?
Ooh, he found one. All right, let's see what this guy looks like.
Like that? I'm voting for a convicted felon. Yeah, let's hope. Exactly, that's right.
That dude should have been boarding the plane first. That's my question. He should have been boarding the plane first. Ain't no way they should have made this guy wait with the rest of the people. He clearly needs assistance. They got this man carrying his own bag. That is outrageous. You know what? This is grounds for a complaint. This is grounds for a complaint. Take this video and send it up to corporate, because ain't no way this man should have been forced to walk himself onto the plane with everybody else. They should have wheeled him in first and carried him to his seat.
I'm voting for a convicted felon. Yeah, let's hope. Exactly, that's right. Gotta save this country.
That's right. Gotta save this country. You can start with taking care of our infirmed. I mean, you can start with the gentleman who had to walk himself onto the plane. You could start with him. And of course, that's what everybody wants to hear when they getting on a plane, right? That's a conversation that everybody wants to have with your luggage in hand, with your jacket on, because you couldn't carry it with your luggage, so you're burning up while you have to side shuffle halfway down the plane. That's the conversation that you want to have, is about saving the country. I'm sure everybody's thrilled.
Gotta save this country.
One way or another.
Yeah. Yeah. Represent. All day.
Represent all day? Represent all day. I'm sorry, did you just say that to yourself into the camera? Did you just say represent all day to yourself into the camera with a bunch of people in the aisle? A bunch of people against their will having to be your audience. You have an unwilling audience and you are talking to yourself. You're the reason people won't be racist when they get off this plane. It's gonna be your fault. It's gonna be your fault. No, really, it's gonna be your fault. You wonder why we have so many problems in the airport, have so many issues on the plane.
Like that? I'm voting for a convicted felon.
I'm voting for a convicted felon. Oh, you mean like your t-shirt says? Yeah? Is that what you mean? Are you repeating the words that are on your t-shirt? Uh-huh. I'm so glad that I met you.
Represent. All day.
Now here's why I'm mad. I just did a Racist of the Week where brothers were pulled off of a flight because of an odor complaint, right? He looked like he stinks. You know what I mean? He looked like he stinks. How they just gonna let him stay on the plane, huh? And he got way more skin showing too. You know what I mean? How he gonna stay on the plane? And they taking brothers off of American Airlines. I need answers. And that's before we get to the whole convicted felon idolatry. You know, the fact that Are You a Convicted Felon appears on job applications and rental applications and professional certifications. I couldn't even rent a hovercraft when we went on vacation last summer without asserting that I am not a convicted felon. They wouldn't trust me to go out on the lake, but yet you can be president. How about the fact that you can't work in the medical industry or the financial industry, can't drive a truck, train, bus, be an airline pilot, a felon can't be a daycare worker. They not trusting you with kids, but they trusting you with all of us. You remember truckers for Trump? Yeah, truckers for Trump? Yeah, Trump couldn't be a trucker for Trump. How about that? How about that? How about all these complaints about DEI and how it's destroying the airline industry, you know, with all these brown people that aren't felons just doing their job. But yes, by all means, tell me how you're voting for a convicted felon to run the entire country. Can't be a teacher, can't be a sports instructor to children. And I know just how insane some of the sports instructors to children have been because I have worked with many of them. Police officer, fireman, emergency responder, can't work for the government, but by all means, you can be president. Let's go ahead and have a president who can't travel to half the country that he gonna be on the phone negotiating terms with. Or how about a president that goes to speak to the NRA talking about protecting their right to bear arms and he can't have one? Is he allowed to even be in the presence of them? That I wanna know. How about a president who can't appear on a jury? That's fascinating. He must have conversations with the jury just wondering what the jury's like. Hey man, that's jury tampering. No, I'm not trying to convince them one way or the other. I just want to know what the experience of being on a jury was like because that's an experience that I'll never have. How about not being able to get public social benefits and housing? I don't even know if Trump can get an EBT card. Maybe that's why he's trying to pull it from everybody else with that whole Project 2025, which I'll get to, by the way. I don't know that man could even get an EBT card. He'd be one of those people that was calling, trying to figure out if he could swing some stamps for some money. How about that? How about parental benefits? This man better hope Melania don't ever leave. She better hope Melania don't ever leave. Because he ain't getting custody. I can tell you that right now. He is not getting custody. I have seen the way that goes. I have seen the way that goes. I watch a lot of divorce court. I watch divorce court. I watch Judge Millian. I used to watch a lot of Judge Mathis back in the day. Of course, I watch Judge Judy. I watch People's Court. I watch all. I like court. Yeah, I like court. No, because it gives me a lot of gratitude that I can turn it off and then just be free. You know what I mean? And that leads me to voting. We have just got around to re-enfranchising felons when it comes to them participating in our elections. And you know who did that? It was the Democrats. Yeah, that's right. It was the Democrats pushing for the re-enfranchisement of convicted felons. But by all means, all these people who fought tooth and nail to make sure convicted felons should never have access to our society, all the people that are making sure that they stay in their little tiny box, never to be heard from again, now decide that they want to pull somebody from that box and elevate them again to the highest office of the land. I will let California Congressman Eric Swalwell take us out.
If you believe in states' rights, except when a jury in that state convicts your nominee for president, you might be in a cult. If you claim you back the blue but want to defund the police when the police go to your nominee's house to retrieve national security secrets, you might be in a cult. If you're supporting a guy whose felony convictions prevent him from getting a security clearance, you might be in a cult. And if the guy you're supporting for president has felony convictions that prevent him from going to Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Cambodia, Canada, Chile, China, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Egypt, Ethiopia, Hong Kong,
my motion
India,
takes precedent.
Indonesia, Iran, Ireland, Israel, Japan, Kenya, Macau, Malaysia, Mexico, Morocco, Nepal, New Zealand, Peru, Philippines, Singapore, South Africa, South Korea, Taiwan, Tanzania, Tunisia, Turkey, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, and the UK.
The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized for 5 minutes. I'm asking the gentleman.
I have unanimous consent request.
The gentleman has unanimous consent request.